Welcome to the SNN.Network Canada virtual event. I'd like to introduce our next presenter, Scott Burkhart, VP of Corporate Development at AnalytixInsight. Scott, the floor is yours.
Thank you, and thank you all for joining this morning. We're here to present AnalytixInsight. We're a publicly traded technology company specializing in FinTech and AI, trading on the TSX Venture Exchange as ALY, also on the OTCQB as ATIXF. I'll draw your attention to our forward-looking statements, which will guide our presentation. We will be any forward-looking information, of course, subject to this disclosure. The overview of our company, we have really two primary strategic initiatives, Capital Cube and MarketWall, which we'll cover in detail. We've also been active as well in the workforce optimization space as an additional data analytics opportunity. But primarily we are focused primarily on the financial analytics of financial information, and that's what drives our business. Our primary initiatives being Capital Cube and MarketWall, which I'll spend the most time on here today. Capital Cube is, or the strategic shifts that we're chasing is in the financial brokerage industry, which is really analytics and research, where we're using AI and machine learning to enable our big data analytics for doing financial analysis on a large scale. And if you look also at the MiFID II regulations of unbundling trading fees and research costs, what we see is a reduction of analysts that are covering small to mid-cap stocks. And so we aim to address that space, and we're actively addressing that space and providing information and research to fill those gaps. Likewise, we're all aware of the reduced trading costs that are affecting stock trading applications, and some are actually trading now for free. And so we're also building a low-cost trading application platform specifically that's being rolled out in Europe, and we'll walk you through that. First, let's talk about Capital Cube. This is our AI engine. We bring in a big data set of 50,000 publicly traded stocks. We're providing machine learning on that data set. We draw out insights in the data, so we pull in on 50,000 publicly traded companies. We bring in the financial data for 10 years, the quarterly financial data. We bring in it's around 140 data points per quarterly financial filing. That allows us to do a lot of things like screening through to find particular attributes of certain financial attributes of all publicly traded companies. And it allows us to generate research reports where we can generate on-demand research reports which draw insightful information. We format that in a nice verbal PDF narrative report. We use a lot of graphics to display the strengths and weaknesses of a company and how it's performing financially in comparison to its peer groups. We have developed proprietary scoring techniques, which allows us to do things like apply a fundamental score on each publicly traded company to measure and identify its financial health. We've also added recently ESG analysis on the companies that are reporting their ESG metrics as well. The consumers of the data is one of our main partners in this initiative is Refinitive. Refinitive is the former data business division of Thomson Reuters, which you would recognize that name. Refinitive was recently acquired by the London Stock Exchange earlier this year for around $27 billion. They are one of the world's largest providers of financial data and infrastructure. We're proud to be their partner on this initiative. We have about a 3-year partnership with them, and since that partnership was established in 2018, we've published approximately 26,000 research reports, which are now displayed on their terminals. under the research tab. Refinitive is an important customer in that they have some 40,000 institutions using their data across the globe, and one of the key attributes of our capability set is being able to perform analytics on global companies, not just in North America. We have it globally as well. So we think that our ability to be able to do things like provide attributes of certain financial characteristics of each publicly traded company, including microcap companies, is unique and powerful. Refinitive sees that as well. We're covering very small microcap companies, so companies that are pre-revenue. We will be going to do the analysis to be able to determine such things as how many quarters of working capital that company might have left, that sort of thing. We have dividend analysis scoring techniques as well, which we apply, which those are the type of reports we're publishing with Refinitive. We've also built a RoboAdvisor, and RoboAdvisor is growing in popularity. There's forecast to be some $2.5 trillion will be managed by robos in the coming years, and is already well started currently. So we have built a RoboAdvisor platform. We bring in our data analytics over the last 5 years to help choose the proper allocations based on the Markowitz theory of modern portfolio theory. And so we have built that. We've not commercially deployed it yet, but it's ready to be deployed. And we've been training the robo for about the last 2 years to be able to optimize under various market conditions. And so that's an important piece of our offering for future offering for our customers. One of the big catalyst opportunities in our company is our MarketWall company, and this is a joint venture we established. It's based in Europe. We have established together with the leading bank in Europe, Intesa Sanpaolo. We'll talk a bit more about them here in a moment. What this company is and does is a FinTech company that's offering FinTech applications that are really disrupting and enabling individual users to learn about stocks, research stocks, and trade stocks using the platform. The primary focused offerings of MarketWall is based on the Gemini platform, which is a white label business-to-business business application that allows banks to utilize a stock trading platform and white label that. We'll spend a bit of time on that. And InvestoPro is a recently licensed stock trading platform, which we are now actively rolling out, and that's probably the biggest catalyst opportunity in our company is the InvestoPro growth. We're developing also the same solutions for the North American marketplace, and we're actively building that now. So let's dig in and spend a little bit of time on each of these. So Gemini is a stock trading platform that we have built. Again, it's white label ready, and it's an AI-assisted platform. So what we're doing is taking all of the attributes I've talked about so far in our presentation, being our ability within Capital Cube to generate scores and to perform financial analytics. We bring that into this platform, and what this allows a user then is to look at a company and determine the financial health of a company before they trade the stock of the company. This platform is designed as a white label application. It's designed to be implemented by various banks and brokerage firms. It's built in both Italian and English right now, so we're well ready and able to serve English-speaking jurisdictions worldwide. We can cover any form of companies on this platform. It's all cloud-based, very easy to implement by banks or brokerage firms. InvestoPro is the European online financial broker that we're now actively rolling out. And so we've taken the Gemini attributes and the foundation and backbone of Gemini, applied it into a service offering called InvestoPro, which is the user experience where a user can receive news, information, educational content, financial analytics, and as well perform a trade of a stock, option, or derivative on the platform. InvestorPro is, we've partnered with Samsung on this initiative in Europe to roll out InvestorPro. Samsung is an important partner in Europe. Why? Because they dominate the European smartphone market. They're actually larger than Apple. In Europe, some 32% of users in Europe use Samsung. So we're preloaded as a app on Samsung devices. That also includes smart TV. I recently just purchased a Samsung smart TV here in Toronto, and out of the box it was an app that was ready to download and recommended on the Samsung TVs. So it's smartphone, obviously smartphone compatible, wearables such as watches and so on. Our app is designed to accommodate that. We're one of the very few financial partners that Samsung has worked with, and we're a part of their smart home initiative based in Europe. The idea being able to look at stocks on various devices, phones, refrigerators, TVs, and so on. Let's talk a bit now about the bank that we're partnered with, which is Intesa Sanpaolo. This is a sizable bank using Canadian banking comparisons. Its net income of Intesa Sanpaolo rivals almost, not quite, but almost the size of Scotiabank. In terms of market cap, it's approximately equal to Bank of Montreal size of bank. Intesa Sanpaolo a few years ago, they started their FinTech initiative, and in 2019 they announced that they were investing close to 3 billion euros to increase the bank's digitized business to 70%. And being very old and very well established, more than 100 years of history in the bank, this is a big step for them because it was a movement toward the online channels, which they hadn't developed, and so they spent a lot of effort and time developing these online channels. What that allowed them to be is extremely well positioned when COVID came along in the pandemic, which Italy was fairly hard hit. They were able to move and transition their customers to embrace the online channels, and that allowed them to produce their best ever Q2 in 2021, and they're generating net income of some 1.5 billion euros per quarter. And so the bank's financial performance is the best in their history, and they've embraced the online channels dramatically. And in fact, they now have 7.5 million users using their digital applications, up from, call it 0 5 years ago. So now 7.5 million people are at least using their phone to check their bank balances and do things online banking-wise. We're proud to be their partner with InvestoPro, and so we are their digital online trading platform for users who wish to open an account to trade stocks on that platform. And so InvestoPro then becomes that particular bank's online digital platform. We received regulatory approvals in April of this year. It was launched and introduced to the market in kind of late spring. We're now actively doing promotions to attract new users to come onto the platform, and we fully expect to see some really good user growth and user adoption on this platform by the bank. We're not exclusive to the bank with this initiative, so if you're not a bank customer, you can also log on and sign up and obtain an InvestoPro account. You have to be a European user to be able to trade stocks using this because we're registered within the EU. But it allows a customer then to trade stocks at their own will and more importantly, research stocks. This is an application that's very rich in content and very rich in allowing users to get much more additional information on the stock they're looking to trade. One of our key attributes, and we think it's going to be one of our key competitive differentiators going forward, is our ability to have a financial score of each company and allowing us to match that with the risk profile of the customer who is trading the stocks. So that is currently not an option by most stock trading platforms today because the ability isn't there to do that. We have that ability. So said differently, if a customer is a low-risk customer, then we'll have techniques to be able to prohibit the trade of high-risk stocks for that client account. And for those that understand the regulatory environment that we're operating within, the Know Your Client rule is an important one. We're able to address that. We've also added, we're in front of the regulator as well right now on payments processing applications. So if approved, we'll be able to make payment processing directly from the stock trading account, which will be additionally disruptive in this space. We're building in the June of this year, we raised close to $10 million in capital, and we raised that money to help build a North American stock trading platform, which we're now actively working on and developing. It will use all of the attributes I've talked about so far in the presentation, which is our Capital Cube analysis and our InvestorPro and Gemini stock trading platform and application. So you can stay tuned on that. We're actively generating editorials and so on right now to attract user interest and help generate new user awareness. You can go to our website, for example, and sign up we're now generating a weekly newsletter, which draws out some key attributes of what's gone on in the stock market over the past week, and you're welcome to come to our website, sign up for that free newsletter, and keep abreast of our story. We have a initiative in the workforce optimization. This is an initiative where we're taking data from field service employees and we're doing systems implementation within that space. And this is an initiative that we pursued a few years ago as an additional opportunity for managing big data and taking a data set that's completely different than financial data set and working with that. We are reselling software from partners like IFS, Zinnier is another. We just recently announced a partnership with Zinnier, which is an AI company in this space. So we're doing a fair bit in this space to pursue additional data opportunities of additional big data sets, and we'll continue to look at opportunistically at opportunities for data analytics in multiple industries, and that could be health related, sports related. We don't have initiatives in those, but we do have initiative in the workforce optimization space. That's a company operating as Euclides Technologies, and we've got some core and competent team that's managing that. In terms of our financial information and capital structure, we're 95 million shares outstanding, trading around 70 million market cap. We've got in our current company AnalytixInsight revenues of around $3 million a year. MarketWall, which is our 49% owned subsidiary, has revenues of around $6 million a year. And we don't consolidate the MarketWall revenues on our income statement because it's 49% owned. But the two companies together is a meaningful business, close to $10 million a year in revenue, for example. We again just raised $10 million in June, so we're fine on cash, and we think there's some key opportunities for catalysts in our story coming forward. Our management team is led by Prakash Hariharan, who's our chairman and CEO. He used to be one of the portfolio managers here in Toronto, financial engineering background. Chafe co-founder and AI expert. Marco heads up our MarketWall initiative. In Europe, he used to be the former head of desktop and internet applications for the London Stock Exchange, and he's CEO of MarketWall. Adi heads up our Euclides division on the workforce optimization side, and my background is formerly an investment banker in a Canadian brokerage firm and an investor in small and early stage companies. So our stock symbol is ALY. We're traded on the Toronto Stock Exchange, the Venture Exchange, as I mentioned. We're also traded on the OTCQB. We put a lot of our information, investor materials are well updated on our website. We try to keep as much there as possible to keep investors properly updated. Both Prakash and I are easily available to talk to investors and help to communicate our story. The key elements, again, being our MarketWall deployment of InvestorPro in Europe and our AI platform that we're building. So that wraps up the formal part of the presentation. I'll see if there's any questions. So we have one question, which is, what is the company's vision of where it would like to be in the next 12 months? It's a very good question. If we look at where we see the next 12 months being, so the main thrust over the next 12 months will be the rollout of our InvestorPro platform, and that is where we'll be concentrating a lot of our efforts, and particularly working with Intesa Sanpaolo together on this rollout. So understanding that there are over 7 million users within that bank alone that are using a digital application for the banking services, and we become the stock trading platform for that bank. That will be our concentration and focus. So we've launched that. We're rolling it out. We're attracting interest in user applications and sign-ups. So we think that 12 months from now, this will be a meaningful stock trading application with a number of clients that will be using and embracing this as an application. We also think that over the next 12 months, the regulators will be looking at all of this whole area of low cost, sometimes free stock trading, and how the regulatory impacts that will ensue from that. And we think the regulators are going to want additional information and research to be displayed for the user information to help the users who are trading stocks to be better educated investors, and we think we're very well suited for that. So that will be the key thing to watch in our story over the next 12 months is how that rollout is going, how we're loading on clients, the customer adoption rate, and when we look at the valuation drivers of some of the low-cost stock trading, individual stock trading applications today, these are very key valuation drivers. The next question is, how does our platform compete with Robinhood? Robinhood, of course, is a zero-cost trading platform based in the U.S. We're slightly different with Robinhood in that we're not a free stock trading application. We're a low cost, meaning 10 euros per trade approximately application. Robinhood primarily drives its revenues from payment for order flow or payment from order flow, which means they take the order flow and sell it to other institutions to execute the trade. We don't do that. That practice is actually prohibited in Canada and in many places in the European Union. So what we're doing is charging a small fee to trade a stock, but providing a more enriched experience. So, for example, trading on the Robinhood platform, a user doesn't have the opportunity for research reports, for example, or being able to determine what an analyst consensus rating would be that sort of thing, or financial analytics of any sort, we provide all of those things in exchange for a small fee. The trade, we don't sell the order flow to others for trade execution. We do, the trade execution is performed together with the bank that we're working with, which is Justice and Power. So that's our primary, the differences between our two platforms. So think of InvestorPro then as not just a stock trading execution platform, it's a information research platform where users can become better educated about their investments and make better decisions on their trading and not just blindly trading stocks. So I think that's the end of the question, which wraps up our presentation. I'd like to thank you for joining, and I encourage you to reach out to us at any time we can do a demo. Online demos are really easy to do on our platforms, both of them, and we're happy to do so at any point in time. And with that, I'd like to say thank you for joining.